When I'm connecting with him,
I
he's
know.
showing me, I keep seeing autopsy reports when I'm connecting, and he shows me that he was loaded with things before his passing.
He died the way he loved to live.
He tells me. First of all, there's a couple souls that I'm seeing that are on the other side. There's this soul that's trying to make their way through. And I keep hearing of a suspicious passing that's here. And I keep hearing there was questions over suicide. Who passed of suicide, or they were questioning over suicide? Well,
There's two of them, but one, they said he hung himself. The other was questionable.
But was one of them your boyfriend or like a significant other to you?
He was more like a brother, but
You telling me the truth? Because I'm going to tell you something. I see flirtatious activity between you and between him. So you're telling me he's like a brother and he's coming through for you.
Once upon a time, a very long time ago.
Well, what's crazy is that even though you're telling me this was once upon a time, a long time ago, he tells me you always kept in touch with him. Like you always stayed in touch with one another. He said to me, Matt, he says, you got to understand that we always kept in touch with one another, even though we're in different places within our lives. And do you know, he says, that's the reason why I'm coming through now, because even though I died, he tells me that he still watches over you from the other side. And this is his way of just keeping in touch. This is a really tough reading to do, because when I'm connecting with him, I know that he had taken things before he had died here in this world.
Oh yeah.
And I know
it's fine being the villain in this life.
Well, basically. Listen, sometimes I don't like to say, because I don't like to go and you guys and tell you everything that they show me. But when I'm connecting with him, he's showing me, I keep seeing autopsy reports when I'm connecting, and he shows me that he was loaded with things before his passing.
He died the way he loved to live.
He tells me, he says to me when I'm connecting, he says, Matt, he says, oh my God. Did I tell you everything?
Yes, babe, please.
I gotta tell you, he's coming through, and he literally cannot believe that he can speak like this right now. And he says to me, Matt, you should have saw my life. It was like a rock and roll movie when I was here.
Wild.
He says to me that every day he was at parties, every day he didn't even know whose couch he was going to wake up on. He didn't know where he was going to live. He went from place to place to place. And he also tells me that he used to go and live in like other states. Like there were weird opportunities where I see him in one state, then I see him in the other state. He never even knew where he was.
Yeah, it was wild.
He says to me when I'm connecting with him, but he also had issues that were going on. And when I'm connecting with him, I keep seeing anxiety issues, because I do see that he was arrested when I'm connecting with him. Do you understand that?
Oh, he was in prison more years than I can tell you.
Do you know that's how he died? He keeps telling me, I didn't want to go back to prison. I didn't want to go back to prison. I was afraid of going back. I was afraid of going back. He says, Matt, I was the type of person where I put on a big act. He says, I would tell everyone, I don't care about the police. I don't care about prison. I don't care about jail. That doesn't bother me. He says, but I was afraid. I did not want to go back. This is what's really tough. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. He just said to me that the police knew who he was. And this is where I'm not sure with my ability. So I'm hearing his side of the story. I don't know if he was hallucinating this or if this was factual.
The police weren't even coming after him. He was trying to divert them.
He keeps telling me like every time he passed a police car or every time he passed a police person, he thought that person was after him.
Oh yeah, it was paranoia badly at the end.
Okay, that's how he had died.
Drug use.
Okay, that's how he had died.
Yeah, he called me and told me, he said, I won't go back to prison. I just want to tell you that I love you, and I can't tell you what I did, but you'll read about it in the paper. And 2 months later, his sister called me and told me that he passed away running from the police, and he had a bunch of drugs, and they're not sure if he died before, that he'd taken so many that he had passed away before the wreck, or if he had gotten injured so badly that that's how he died. But
I believe it was a combination of both. And when I'm connecting with him, this is crazy, because he's telling me that he was running from the police. But when I'm connecting, I don't see that the police even had any suspicions of him at that moment. I think this was paranoia. That's why I'm saying I don't understand.
Yeah, it's true. They weren't going after him. He thought that they were going after him, and it was the vehicle in front of him that they were actually after. And he had told somebody to get out of the vehicle, and then he crashed it and he was gone.
He tells me, he says, Matt, he says, that's the one thing that I regret. He tells me that it wasn't him in his rational mind. It was the drugs speaking. Anytime he was on drugs, anytime he was on any of those things, he thought, look, I literally see him in his house. This is before this even happened. This is before, this is like, I want to say a couple months before, like he used to take drugs and I see him in his house boarding up like the windows and everything, like afraid that they were going to come and get him.
Yeah.
So know that the one thing is that's the reason why he's here right now. He wants to say that he's sorry for the way that you had gotten that call from him.
Yeah.
Because you still think of that and you still think, well, maybe I could have said something. Maybe I could have talked him down. Maybe there was something that I could have hinted at or said. And he said to me, no, but he wants to tell you the reason why you got that call. The reason why you got that call that night was not because of the fact that he was calling to say goodbye, but more so because he wanted to truly let you know how much that he loved you.
I love you, Dad.
Because you may have saw him like a brother, but I'm going to tell you something. He says, Matt, I dated many people, he tells me. He says, and I never experienced love within my life. He said, yes, I had relationships. Yes, I was in and out of relationships. But he tells me, Jillian, that he truly always loved you.
Yeah. We actually never even dated.
That's crazy.
Just was around him a lot and his family, and his dad passed away. So hopefully he's up there with his dad now. And
Well, know that this is his way of acknowledging from the other side that every day that goes by, he is like a guardian angel watching over you. Because here in this world, he tells me that you used to keep an eye on him. And he wants to thank you for the phone calls, for the texts, for just checking up on him, and for doing every single thing that you did. And he tells me, he goes, Matt, let her know that I'm the one who sends her the songs. He tells me that he sends you music from the other side.
I bet he does. I bet he does.
And know that that's his way of acknowledging to you that when you get those songs, when you hear that music, that's his way of letting you know that he is on the other side, that he is okay. And that's his way of letting you know that he's thinking about you right at that exact moment.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, he tried to come to me right after he passed away. I kept having dreams that he was trying to get my attention and I couldn't like reach him. He was like in a pre-release center in my dreams. So to me, it was like he was like stuck in some way. So it was difficult after he passed on. So
Well, know that that's his way of just acknowledging that when you got that dream, it was really him. You know, sometimes dreams are symbolic of things, right? And I know that you got that dream for a reason. I know it was his way of trying to show you, hey, I'm trying to reach you, but I really don't know how. Please know that his soul is the one that's here and watching over you right
thank
here
you
and now.
so much. I appreciate that.
You're so welcome. I'm going to leave you with that.